Hey, welcome. Lesson 4.1, the interior and exterior angles of triangles. We are going to be spending a lot of time talking about triangles this level, so I hope you love them. Our objective for this lesson is for students to be able to find the missing angles of triangles. Now let's start with like a little interesting fact, and that is the sum of the interior angles. Okay, and remember, sum means the addition, like if you added the interior angles, which are right over here, these are the interior angles because they're on the inside of the triangle, they will always add up to 180 degrees. That is truth, every time. So if I were to add up angle 1 and the measure of angle 2, which is over here, and the measure of angle 3, if I add up these three, they would add up to 180 degrees. All right? That's just the fact we're going with. So how are we going to use that? Why is that interesting to us? Well, that means if we know two angles in a triangle, if I ever know two angles, I could always find the third angle because I know they're going to all add up to 180. So let's take a look at this one. In this triangle, I know that the angle A plus angle B plus angle C, those are the three angles, A, B, and C, they're going to add up to 180 degrees. All right? Now, my first angle is 38 degrees. All right, angle A is 30. Oh, that's wrong. We don't know angle A. So angle A we don't know. Angle B is 38 degrees. And angle C is 43 degrees. I'm just substituting in what I know. And I know they're all going to equal 180 degrees. To solve for angle A, all I have to do is subtract 43. All right? I'm going to subtract 43. And I'm going to angle A is plus 38. All right, this cancels, is equal to 137. And then I just take away the 38. And I minus 38. And I get, boom, that goes away. Angle A is equal to, well, if I take away 38, I get 99 degrees. And so this is 99. Now, this is a really, like, the complicated way to do it. There's an easier way. All you have to do is take 180 and subtract the two other angles. So if I take 38 and I take 43 away, guess what I get? That's right, 99 degrees. So if you ever know the two angles in a triangle, all you have to do is subtract the other two angles, and that will tell you what your third missing angle is. So in this case, let's try this technique. So in this case, I know two angles, and I want to find out angle D because it's missing. To do that, well, I know that angle E plus angle D plus angle F is all equal to 180, and I could do it the way I just showed you, but let's work with it this way. I'll just do 180 minus 70 minus 72. If I take those two away, I get 38 degrees. So the missing angle, angle D, is going to be equal to 38 degrees. All right? Beautiful. Just subtract the two other angles from 180 and I'll tell you the third missing angle. Now, if we're going to find the value of x, this gets a little more complicated. Just a tittle, just a little, just a middle, just a whittle. To do it, well, let's set up our equation first, okay? In this triangle, this is how I could set up my equation to solve for x. I know that these three angles are going to add up to 180, so I would say that angle A plus angle B plus angle C all add up to 180 degrees. All right? Now what I'm going to do is substitute the known values. Now I know angle A is 90 degrees. Remember that little box means 90 degrees. Angle B is 2x and angle C is 3x. And that is how I set up my equations. The three angles, if I add them together, equals 180. So now our equation is set up. All we have to do is solve it. Now once again, if you know how to solve it, please just jump ahead. If you want to see how to solve it, stay with me. What we're going to do is draw a line down the middle, and we're going to move numbers to one side, variables on the other. So since I have variables on this side, let's subtract 90 from both sides. I subtract 90, and I get 2x plus 3x is equal to 180 plus minus 90 is 90 degrees. I add my x's together because they're on the same side, and I get 5x equals 90. Divide by 5 to solve for x. I get x equals, let's see, 80. Done. Now if I wanted to see what these angles both were, remember I could just plug x in and find out what b and c are. So this would be 2 times 18. which is 36 degrees. And this would be 3 times 18, which would be 54 degrees. So 3 times 18 is 54 degrees. And I just plugged them in there, and that gave me my 3 angles. And sure enough, if you want to check what this work, if I add up these 3 angles, I should get 180. And sure enough, 36 plus 54 plus 90 equals 180. We did it. It works. All right, here's another example. If angle H equals 2x plus 1, so let's write that in, all right, and angle L equals x, and the measure of angle J equals x plus 15, what is the value of the measure of H, the measure of angle L, and the measure of angle J? Now, that doesn't mean just say J is x plus 15. What you have to do is find out what x is, and just like we did on the other question, plug it in and find out what the values are. So we're going to set up our equation first, and we know if we add up all our angles, they're going to equal 180. So it's 2x plus 1, all right? Oh, sorry, let's take it back a step. Let's just set it up easily. Angle H plus angle L plus angle J all equal 180. Let's substitute these in. So I know my 3 angles, angle H is 2x plus 1, all right? Plus my other angle, angle X, because L is just x, and J is x plus 15. My 3 angles equal 180 degrees. So I'm going to add these all up, and what I want to do is move numbers to one side, variables on the other. And if I look at this side, the variables are here, so I'm going to keep variables here. I'm going to start moving numbers over. So first let's subtract 15 from both sides. And if I do that, I get 2x plus 1 plus x equals 165. Now I can subtract 1 again because I want to move all the numbers over. That cancels out, and I get 2x plus x equals 164. We combine like terms because they're all on the same side right here. So 4x equals 164. Divide by 4 on both sides, and I get x is equal to 41. Beautiful. Now the original question said to find the measures of these 3 angles, so I'm going to have to plug them in. So since x is 41, all right, the measure of H is 2x plus 1. Instead of x, I'm going to put 41 in there. 2 times 41 plus 1, well, that's 82 plus 1, so this is 83 degrees. That's my measure of H. The measure of angle L is x, so that's just plugging in 41. No math to do there, and that's just going to be 41 degrees. And the measure of angle J is x plus 15. Instead of writing x, I could just write 41. So it's 41 plus 15, and that's 56 degrees. Now just to check to see if we even did this right, because we have H, L, and J, we got our measures. Let's see if these do in fact add up to 180. So 83 plus 41 plus 56. Put that on the calculator, and if you do, sure enough, you get 180 degrees. So that seems like we did something right. All right, that is the interior angles of triangles. Now we're going to talk about the exterior angles. So the exterior angle theorem. Now what is an exterior angle before we talk about it? Now if you have a triangle and you have a line that keeps going from one of the angles, just like here, this would be considered the exterior because it's on the outside of the triangle, all right? Outside, that is exterior. That's why we call it that. So here's the exterior angle of this triangle, all right? The measure of an exterior angle, all right? The measure of the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum, that means addition, of the measure of the 2 opposite interior angles, okay? These are the 2 opposite interior angles right here. This guy, that's one of them, and here's another one. Those are the 2 opposite interior angles. Now, if you look here, let's see if you even believe me, because you might not believe me, but I'm about to prove it to you, so watch this. So the measure of angle A plus the angle B, that's 60 plus 50. So if I added those 2 together, that'd be 110 degrees. All right? Now, let's say I want to find this third angle right here of this interior. Well, we know that if I just take 180, all right, 180, and I subtract these 2 angles, 60 minus 50, that will tell me what this angle is, and that turns out to be 70 degrees. All right? So these are my 3 interior angles. Now, I want to find the measure of this exterior angle right here. Well, if you remember this, what a linear pair is, these angles right here this and this, that would be a linear pair, meaning they're supplementary. So if I want to find out what ACD is, all I have to do is 180 minus this angle over here, right? 70 equals 110, because these are a linear pair. So ACD, this angle right here, is 110 degrees. Look at that. So just like I said, the measure, if you add up the two opposite interior angles, you get the measure of the exterior angle. They're the same. A and B equal 110, and ACD also equals 110. So I could say that A, measure of angle A, plus the measure of angle B, the two opposite interior angles, is equal to the exterior angle, angle ACD. Sorry, my pen won't go any farther. I don't know what's wrong with the computer right now. So let's use this in action. I want to find the measure of angle 1 in this. Now, angle 1 is the exterior angle, and I know the measure of the two interior angles is going to be equal to my exterior angle. So all I have to do is add these two angles up, and that's 60 plus 90, and that's going to equal measure of angle 1, right? If I add those two together, I get 150 degrees, and that's equal to measure of angle 1. That's simple. All you have to do is add the two opposite interior angles to get the exterior angle. So to do this problem, this is a little different. In this problem, if you look, I'm trying to find the measure of angle 2, and I know the exterior angle, which is right here, but I don't know one of the interior angles. And the way to set this up is simple. It's always the sum of the two interior angles. So for you, you should just be drawing these lines at this point. So the sum of two interior angles equals the exterior angle. Now the two interior angles are angle 2 and 43 degrees, and those are equal to 102. Now to solve for this, I'm going to just subtract 43 from both sides, and I get angle 2 is equal to 102 minus 43. Well, that is 59 degrees. 59 degrees. Now, if you don't believe me, one thing you do is just try adding them and see if you get the exterior angle. So 59 plus 43, well, sure enough, that equals 102. So it worked. Okay, finally, in the diagram below, in triangle ABC, we know the measure of angle A is x, so let's fill that in. The measure of angle B is 2x plus 15. All right. And the measure of angle C is 5x plus 5. I want to find out the measure of angle B. And to do that, I'm probably going to have to find out what x is. And when you want to find out what x is, the real important thing is to know what equation you're going to set up. And when I'm looking at this, I see that I know the two interior angles, right? I know these two interior angles, and I know this exterior angle. And since I have two interior angles and an exterior angle, a good idea would probably be set up that I know the sum of the two opposite interior angles equals the exterior angle. So what you're going to do is just draw these two lines. I know the two interior angles is equal to the exterior angle. Now I just fill in what I know. My interior angles are x, all right, and 2x plus 15. And my exterior angle is 5x plus 5. Well, once again, to solve for b, what I really want to do is solve for x and plug that in. So what I'm going to do, draw a line down the middle, and I'm going to figure out what goes where. So on this side, I'm looking at this side, and I see that's like, if I combine x plus 2x, remember on the same side, I get 3x plus 15. And on this side, I get 5x plus 5. All right, just start off by combining like terms. Now to solve this, I'm probably going to have to move the smaller variables over the side with the bigger variables. So let's subtract 3x from both sides. All right, get variables on one side. That cancels out, and I get 15 is equal to 2x plus 5. To solve for x, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. That goes away. I'm moving it to the number side, and I get 10 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2, and I get x is equal to 5. Wow, we did it. Now, we're not done though, because to find out what this angle B is, I'm going to have to plug x in. So angle B is equal to 2x plus 15. Angle B, well, I'm going to substitute my x in, which is 5. So it's 2 times 5 plus 15. Angle B, well, 2 times 5 is 10 plus 15. And so I know my final answer is angle B is equal to 25 degrees. Okay, that does it for this lesson. It's a good thing just to remember. When you want to set up your equation, if you want to set up an equation, know what information you have and make your equation from there. And 2, don't ever look an owl in the eye because it will scratch your eyeballs out. That's a fact.